Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you. Well, once again, I want to welcome everybody here. This is Andy and Don, Heather Hart, and Christian Zamora. But you can see the band is off today. We gave the band the day off, so we get to have this beautiful music, and we get to have your beautiful music as well today. We're going to put some lyrics up on the screens up there, and those of you on the line, we welcome you. You're going to have some lyrics as well. I'm going to invite you to all stand and to join me in an affirmation that we are giving ourselves over to the vast miracle of love today. Love expressed as community, love expressed as love itself, love expressed as every word that we share here today. Let's give ourselves over to the miracle of love. Together we sing, kind friends all gathered round. There's something I would say, that what brings us together here has blessed us all today. Love has made a circle that holds us all inside, where strangers are as family and loneliness can't hide. Let's raise our voices together. Give yourself to love, if love is what you're after, and open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. I invite you to turn to your left or your right and just say good morning to somebody. Let them know you are grateful that they are here. And I want to greet those of you online. We're so grateful that you are joining us this morning. Glad you found us. If you're here for the first time, we're so grateful. Together we sing, love is born in fire. It's planted like a seed. Love can't give but it gives you what you need. Love comes when you're ready. Love comes when you're afraid. It'll be your greatest teacher, the best friend you ever made. Let's hear that chorus one more time. Give yourself to love, love is what you're after, and open up your hearts to the tears and laughter, and give yourself to love. Give yourself to love. As you find your seat, let's open up the sanctuary of our hearts as we sit down. Those of you online, I invite you to close your eyes and to join Avril in consciousness for our opening prayer as we give each other and ourselves and this community over to the vast miracle that is love.
I invite you to close your outer eyes, to take your awareness down into the heart space, the indwelling location and source of love. Just taking a few moments, breathing into that space, into what is your natural state, where you naturally vibrate from, and feeling that in this now moment, you are connected heart to heart with everyone in this room, everyone beyond these walls, watching on the screen, breathing, beating, vibrating love, even if they are unaware. Pause, have gratitude for your awareness of this potentiality and connection. And for this time together where we get to expand our awareness of love and relish the unity that we are, we say, Amen, Amen, Amen.
Amen. Well, good morning again, Unity North. How are we today? We are great. We are good. It's cool out. I cherish this time of year. So a lot going on. This is a very exciting next few weeks here at Unity North. First off, this Wednesday, the 20th of October, we are going to do Rappin' with the Kids. Last week we did Rappin' with the Rev, and that went really, really well. And so to prepare for our children coming back, we are going to offer an evening chance to come together, visit the pumpkin patch, and we'll allow you guys to then leave the kids with us for some fun time and come in and enjoy meditation and Rappin' with the Rev. So that is Wednesday, October 20th. The patch is open till 7, so you can come at 6:30, look at the patch, grab a pumpkin, and then Rappin' with the Rev is from 7 to 8:15. So mark your calendars for that. And that leads us into, we are really excited, finally, our Unikids are returning October 24th.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yay!
Yes, yes, yes.
We've really been sticking with what the school districts and the state of emergency, but that is supposed to end, and so we are safely and much excitement bringing our children back. They're going to mostly be outside, taking advantage of the cool weather. So if you are a parent of a child, I think it's 5 to end of 5th grade, please text Unikids to that number if you want to be apprised of everything going on, any announcements, any fun events. You can text that keyword to that number and we'll keep you in the loop. Next off, our fall festival. You see a theme going on. We have a big fall festival coming up at the end of October, and a lot of work is going into this to make it a really fun event for families. If you're an adult without kids, if you're an adult with kids, there is something for everybody. And that is Friday, October 29th, 5:30 to 8 p.m., and it's all over campus. There's going to be a campus-wide scavenger hunt. There's going to be, you can visit the pumpkin patch. There'll be candy, so it's sort of like a trunk and treat. The kids will get to go to stations and get candy, so we're encouraging costumes. And then it's going to end at the Labyrinth with some storytelling. So we're really excited about it, and that's Friday, October 29th. You can register online. Our pumpkin patch next Friday. They're setting up the pallets today after service, and then this coming Friday, the 15th, is the big day. We're getting the truck of all our pumpkins. And as I've been saying, this is our big fundraiser for the fall. So much work and planning is going into this. We need 15 more able-bodied people to help unload this truck. So, Friday the 15th at 3:30 p.m. here on campus till about 6. Bring your gloves, bring your heart of service, and come be in the assembly line to get our pumpkins to rest at their home in the patch. If you want to know what that looks like, there's a video on Facebook that kind of shows you what that might look like when we visited another patch. But we need 15 more people. Sign up in the foyer. Also, if you want to sell pumpkins for the next 2 weeks, we need about 40 plus more people to make that happen. So see Judith in the foyer. And then also you can sign up in the foyer for our Family Promise as well. LGBTQ plus, today is their sack lunch gathering, 12:30 in the community room, which is room 2, community room, creativity room. Thought that didn't sound right. Which is next to the elevator. They have sandwiches and snacks, so if you did not bring a lunch, don't let that stop you. Everyone is welcome, allies and people in that community. Please join us downstairs, 12:30 today. And then finally, we are going to be giving out prayer shawls again. Our prayer shawl ministry has been hard at work all through COVID, and they are continuing to provide prayer shawls. They are going to do a giveaway Sunday, October 24th, both before second service from 10 to 11, and then after 12:30, 1:30. So many of us have benefited from these shawls that are prayerfully made with intention, with that healing energy throughout the entire time they're being crafted. And these are free. Of course, they will take a love offering for more yarn, but plan on getting a shawl for anybody who needs it on Sunday, October 24th. Okay, that was a lot. How many people are excited, though?
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's a great week, great month.
So if you want to be aware of all of this and be reminded, you can sign up for Text in Church. I know most of you have. We have a lot of people that are part of that program. But if you want to throw that slide up, there are 2 keywords that you can use to keep in the loop. Thank you. You can text the word announce. The number always remains the same. So that's the number for our text in church. So text announce to get information if we have the first service gets rained out and we're going to move inside, or inclement weather. You'll be the first to know. Text events if you want reminders about all the things going on campus. We don't inundate you, but that's a great way to stay connected. Okay. Now, I want to welcome anybody who is here for the first time. You got in on that front end of all the wonderful things going on. But we are so excited that you decided to check us out today. So if there's anybody who is here for the very first time today, online as well, we want that energy of your newness. So I'd like you to raise your hand if you feel like it, and let us just acknowledge that you're here in your space. We've got 2 people right there. The table of 4. The table of 4. And back here, we have another one. We are just so grateful that you chose to be with us in this space at this time. And Reverend Richard and I will be out front after service to answer any questions, anything that you might, or just to say hello, You can also get more information if you text the word new to that number. It's real easy. You just pull out your phone, text new, and that will give you information about our community and the things going on. But we are just so grateful, and thank you for being here today. That's it.
So now we want to bring Andy and Dawn back up. It's always a treat when they are here. It's just, I feel like I'm making a trip to far off distant land. But once again, welcome your heart and your sanctuary to Andy and Dawn. Beautiful, beautiful. Heather Hart and Christian Zamora, incredible music, better known as Andy and Don. It just doesn't it transport you someplace? It's just absolutely gorgeous. We're going to hear from them one more time before the end of the day, but just take that music and bring it into your heart. We are in the middle of a 5-part series, and last week I ended the message and ended the service with the phrase, talk is cheap. How many remember that? Were you here? Oh, it's a little bit harsh. Talk is cheap, but don't we agree that a lot of people are talking a good game, but they're not living a good game? On the spiritual path, if we are authentic beings, we are called to live an authentic game and to make sure that our actions are meeting our words, yes? So we're heading it head on in this dream-building series about calling ourselves accountable to where our actions do not meet our words. And I thought I'd start with this wonderful story to continue that theme of talk is cheap. 4 monks were in a monastery and they were meditating, deep into meditation, and the winds began to blow. The winds began to blow and the prayer flags on the top of the monastery began to flap like crazy, making a lot of noise. Well, the first monk left the monastery and went out and proclaimed, "Oh, flag is flapping. Flags are flapping." The second monk got up from his meditation, went out and said, No, my friend, I must correct you. Wind is flapping. Wind is flapping." Well, there was a third monk who had been in the monastery for 20 years. 20 years he'd been there, and he was also getting up from his meditation, and he walked outside and he said, "My friends, I must correct you. Mind is flapping." Then the fourth monk finally got up from his meditation, had enough of this. He was the wisest and the oldest of all of the monks, and he turned to his friends with a beloved gentle nudge and a smile and says, "No, mouths are flapping." Mouths are flapping. So many times in the religious worlds, mouths are flapping. And lips are moving and tongues are wagging, but the reality is we're not living a good game. A lot of people talk a good game on Sunday, and then Monday through Saturday, mouths are simply flapping, and we forget the truth. So last week we started a series on dream building, and we spent some time exploring the preliminary steps towards building a dream. A collective dream, which is this community, and the individual dream, because we're here to build your dream as well. You build mine, I build yours, and somehow all of us are more of who we were meant to be on the planet as a result of our co-creative endeavors. You see, we're not just talking about dream building, we are manifesting dreams, one after the other. I gave a long list of people the other day where I talked about people that aren't here anymore, that are right now living their dreams all around the country, some across the seas, living their dreams as a result of the empowerment that they got here. I want to review those preliminary steps, and believe me, they are preliminary. They're just the beginning of the journey, but step one. And I likened these steps to sisters because they are related to each other. They must be working together in congruity and in partnership. Step one is believing, or sister number one is believing. You've got to believe something is possible or you will never attain it. It is the spark that ignites the fire. You must hold in your heart and in your mind the belief that you can attain something, and all the universe begins to conspire in your favor to meet that belief, but it has to start as a belief. Sister number one, who has a sister number two. A belief number two turns into a place of knowing. Her name is knowing. Knowing grounds that belief. That was maybe a little bit of blind faith, pulls it into the heart, into the spirit, where you know it with your heart, your mind, your soul, and your being, that it is already truth. Understanding that in the mind of God, it's already done. It hasn't been manifested yet in the physical realm, but in the mind of God, it is done. That takes it to a place of knowing, where it's anchored in your heart, in your spirit, and in your soul. So many people just stop there. But let's be clear today, believing and knowing are sisters and partners. One without the other doesn't work. The belief feeds the knowing, and the knowing then gets grounded in our hearts. Sister number three is the one that is absolutely most important, and she's the one that often gets forgotten. She's the one that lovingly propels the energy of belief in knowing into the manifestation realm, and her name is action. Action. So many dreams die because we don't put these beautiful bodies that we've been given, these gifts of God, into play, into the arena, into the game. That sister is necessary to complete the trilogy: belief and knowing and action. Once we get integrated, knowing in our minds, our hearts, and our souls that God is working and God is moving, and it's true in the mind of God, we've got to put our bodies behind our prayers, put our feet behind our prayers. We have to get busy using the vehicle of God's gift to us for this vehicle that's on earth at this time and this place. Once that is grounded, the next level wants to emerge, and we must dance with the third sister. Today, I want to dance with the third sister. I want to dance with action. In particular, the action of stretching ourselves. Today we're talking about stretching the dream, stretching our souls, stretching our divine essence, stretching our mind, and stretching every part of ourselves so that we can reach. Last week I talked about a circle, belief and knowing. And the third sister is what propels us to reach for the next level of our dream and the next level of ourselves. We must answer the call that's been placed in our heart. So I want you to do something for me. Everybody, if you're able, to stand up. My friend Joel Blackford, who's sitting here today, he did this one time, and I was blown away by it. I want you to all turn to your left and stretch as far as you can to the left. Stretch. I mean, really stretch as far as you can. Keep your feet planted. Just stretch. Find a point on the wall. Be aware of that point. Now stretch to your right. Turn to your right and turn as far as you can to the right. Just really move and find a spot on the wall. Mark it with your eyes. All right, forward. Now let's put your hands up high into the air. See how high you can stretch. Find a spot maybe on the ceiling. Reach for that spot. Reach as far as you can. And now let it go. Release. Close your eyes for a second. Right where you are, I want you to believe that you can go farther. I told you to go as far as you could, but I want you to believe you could go a little bit farther. I want you to know in your heart that you absolutely take my gentle nudging, that I know that you can go a little bit farther than you just went. Picture yourself stretching for the rafters and maybe getting a little taller than you were 15 seconds ago. All right, on the count of 3, open your eyes. 1, 2, 3. Turn to your left, and I want you to reach just that much farther than you went before. Mark where you are, and then mark just about an inch or two farther. Go to the right, do the same thing. Go a little bit farther to the right. You marked it with your eyes. Mark a new spot, a new goal, a new possibility, and the same going up. Reach for the ceiling. Picture yourself. Get as far as you possibly can go, which is going to be farther than you did just a second ago. I mean, don't play small. Go for it. Come on, Tony. Reach the ceiling. All right, have a seat. How many of you were able to go a little bit farther the second time? Probably most of the people in the room, simply because you believed it was possible, you knew it was possible, and you had a partner in believing, knowing it was possible as well. I would not have asked you to do that if I didn't think that most of you were going to get to a new place and to get to a new awareness, a bigger stretch, a farther stretch. That's what we do here. That's my job, is to stretch you, to push just a little bit gently and lovingly into a greater version of yourself than you have ever believed was possible. That's what we do at Unity North. Did it feel good? How did that stretch feel? Wow, I just went a little bit farther. I told you to go as far as you could the first time. Did you go as far as you could? In that moment, with the limited thinking that you had and the understanding of what we were doing, you did. But with a new knowing, a new belief system, and a new awareness, and a partner in believing, you went that much farther. Those dream builders that are living their dream across the country right now got what they needed to stretch a little bit farther. Got what they needed to recognize the divine essence of their very soul a little bit more than they had, and then they had the courage and the guts to take an action, to dance with the sister of action, and to then get off the pot and move and dance. Now, on the spiritual path, there is inevitably going to come a time when we get to the edge of our understanding. Have you ever been there? If you're growing, if you've made a commitment to grow your soul and to become more of yourself, there's going to be a moment when you're right on the edge. And you've come to the edge of what you have been educated to know. You're going to come to the edge of what you have learned. What you have implemented in the past will no longer serve you on the edge. You're going to come to the place where your talents no longer serve you for the next chapter, the next version of your stretch, of your movement. Your abilities to know the next step are going to go away. It's a scary place, isn't it? Is it? I know it scares me to death. Oh my gosh, I'm being asked by life to go to the next level, to evolve my soul to the next level of my divine nature. And it's a scary place, but let me tell you, it is the most beautiful place on the planet, and it's the place I want all of us to live. I want all of us to live in that place of stretch, as partners in believing, to just gently nudge ourselves into the next version of who we are meant to be on the planet. Breathe with me. Some people will come into the doors here at Unity North, and that will be too scary. Let me stay stagnant. Let me stay mediocre. Let me live out of mediocrity and not of the divine essence that I was born to be. But let me tell you, we want to live life on the edge. I've heard it said that if you're not living on the edge, you're taking up too much space. If you're not on the edge, you're taking up way too much space. The edge is where the juice is. The edge is where God is, not in your comfort zone away from the edge. If you want to grow and be ready to grow, come right to the edge. Why is that? Well, the edge is where Jesus discovered he was the Christ, where a man discovered he had a Christed potential, where he knew that he was one with God. He became the Christ in that moment. It's where Siddhartha, right on the edge, is where Siddhartha realized he was the Buddha. Not back here, not playing it safe. It's the gentle nudging of life, pushing Siddhartha to the edge to go explore, to go adventure, to go become. And thus the Buddha was born. And anybody who's read the Bhagavad Gita, it is one big story of Krishna challenging Arjuna to find the Atman. You see, Atman and Buddha and Christ are all the same thing. It's the divine essence of your soul. That's what we do here. That's what all of us do here, is gently and lovingly nudge each other to the edge that you might find the Christ, the Buddha, and the Atman of your very existence. The other list I've made recently are the people that were told they were throwaways, that they were less than, that they were failures. They come into our doors and they realize, no, they are a veritable Christ. And that Christ is not an energy or a truth that's isolated in one person. Buddhahood is not something that is only isolated selectively for one person. Buddhahood is a state of living in congruity with our divine essence. So I want to play Krishna to all of you, to Arjuna, and I want you to play Krishna for me, the Arjuna of my soul, and don't let me play small. Make me uncomfortable. Stir the waters a little bit and come to the edge. There was a French poet and writer, and for those of you that speak French fluently, my apologies for the pronunciation of this name. But I've adapted this poem for the purpose of today. It was written by Guillaume Apollinaire. If you mumble it and you just sound like that, then nobody knows you don't know how to pronounce the name. Guillaume Apollinaire. But this is what was written. Come to the edge, life said. And I can't, I'm afraid, I responded. Come to the edge, life said. I can't, I will fall, I responded. Come to the edge, life said, and so I came, and life pushed me. And then I flew. It is on the edge where you develop the wings to fly. In order to ascend the heights of our soul's capabilities, we must come to the edge and face our fears, in particular our fears of failing, our fears of falling, our fears of embarrassment. As I reflect upon my life, it is the moments where I was living in fear that I might be embarrassed, that nothing got done. It was the moments I was afraid of falling and failing, that nothing got done. And the greatest good in my life and the lives of those that are living their dream, that got a little bit scary here on the edge, and they were gently nudged to the next chapter, those are the ones that are living the dream, because they came to the edge and they found their wings. They found their soul. They found the Christ of their being. It's on the edge of your pain. It is on the edge of your fear that you will get the wings. Rochelle Goodrich, let's read this together. Next quote, her name is Rochelle Goodrich. Let's read it together and let's make it personal. Together. I must grow and change until the day I sprout wings. Say that line again with me. I must grow and change until the day I sprout wings. And on that day I shall burst free, no longer marooned on a pebble of dust in a universe that only waits for me to find a means to fly. The means to fly exists in this community. No longer will you be defined by your limited human mindset or a limited human experience on a pebble of dust, which is an insignificant part of who you are. You will find the wings, and you will be challenged lovingly by those in the room who will gently and lovingly urge you to the edge and jump off the edge with you. That's what life is calling from us. For us to do anything less here is a disservice to the God essence doing business as you. To do anything less would be a disservice to the call that each one of us has had in our heart to become the fullness of God expressed as us. Breathe that in for a second. Dreams that do not make your knees knock. Excuse me, I'm having a little bit of a choking problem today. Dreams that don't make your knees knock are not big enough and do not answer the call of the Christ of your soul. Dreams that don't make you shake to the marrow of your bones are not answering the Christ, the Atman, or the Buddha of your essence. The fear is necessary. It's not your enemy, it is your partner. You will use the energy of the fear to propel yourself off the cliff, and then the wings will sprout out. Feel that and know that. It's okay to have the human expression and experience of fear. In fact, it might be necessary. Just make sure it's not operating at 51%. I'll take 49, because that means the divine essence has 51%, has the reins, and you're about to become more of yourself. Aspirations that cause you to tremble down to the marrow of your bones are sourcing themselves from the highest and best part of who you were, who you have always been, and who you will always be, the light of the world. Growing pains and fears are wings pushing through. Unity North, as a community, we have made a promise to ourselves to challenge each other individually and collectively to get to the next level of this community. As good as it is, it can be great. You know, we're having a debate about what we put on a giant sign. Well, what are we going to put on a giant sign out on the parking lot? People, we're kind of the best kept secret sometimes. And they say, you're not advertising what's going on in this building. Nobody knows. So we're having these debates. And boy, is it fearful to say, let's just stand for what we really believe in Cobb County. And let's put it on a big 20 by 10 sign and put it on the street. That makes me a little bit nervous. Little tiny bit nervous. But how dare I play small with the truth that we are living and breathing and teaching in this place? How dare I be afraid of somebody's reaction to the truth that has made my life a better place, made the lives of many people a better place? How dare I not put a sign out there and say, we're here, come home. People are seeking us. People are looking for this message. And the same is true not only with a sign on the street, it's how you speak about the life-changing principles that are happening in this building. Don't play small, don't play shy. Speak loudly and proudly about the miracle that you are becoming. And stop letting somebody tell you that the light of the world is isolated for one person. And how dare you? No, how dare you not be the light of the world? The master teachers, Jesus and Buddha and Krishna, said, be the light of the world. Be the fire. Be the change agent. Be the conduit for the world to wake up and to be more of what it is meant to be. Amen? I got a Tebow over here holding consciousness. He's a chaplain on duty today, so he's not giving me any amens. He's just seeing the truth for you. But let me tell you, on the inside, he's going, amen, amen, amen. But he's holding that sacred space. He is a partner in believing for you today, holding in mind and heart, knowing that you can stretch further than you've ever stretched before. He's over there knowing that you can be more than you've ever thought yourself to be. And as good as your life is, it can be great. So you're going to be challenged. And I'm warning you, there's phone calls coming from the leaders who are leading the way into the next chapter. Be open and ready. We're going to ask you to stretch. I called one of our yoga teachers, Carolyn Purvis. How many know Carolyn? Beautiful, beautiful soul. She teaches yoga here. And when I told her we were going to be asking our congregation and asking myself and all of us to stretch, that's a good place to go, to a yoga teacher. What is it going to require of us to stretch? The first thing we talked about was both reminding ourselves that yoga is not just a physical exercise. Western mind in the United States of America has taken this beautiful spiritual practice and turned it into a physical activity. It is a physical activity. It does make your body healthier. But let me tell you, yoga means oneness. Yoga means union. Union with what? Union with your divine soul. It's what Krishna was asking of Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita. And it's what I'm asking you, to feel a sense of oneness at a spiritual place, integrating every one of your bodies. Yes, you have a physical body. Keep it attuned. But you have a mental body, an emotional body, a spiritual body, a soul. And yoga is about the integration, an equal stretch from all parts of yourself, not just one. So we reminded ourselves of that truth. And then I said once again, tell me what it's going to require of my congregation and myself and these individuals to stretch into the next version of who they're supposed to be. These are her answers. I have 5 of them. I'm going to invite you to commit them to memory because I'm going to invite you to live them through the whole month of October, that they become a habit, and that we're all more in November than we were in October because we lived these principles. Number 1, mindfulness. Mindfulness, a word we hear in all of the Eastern traditions. What is mindfulness? It is simply paying attention to what you're paying attention to. I have an awareness of what I am paying attention to. Thoughts, my focus, my attention is creating my reality. So where I am looking, what I am allowing access to my life is absolutely manifesting over and over and over and over again. Anybody ever go to a yoga class and you've got the macho guy that's there for the first time? I've been that guy. I'm going to show all these women in their tights. I come in my jeans. I can do this, no problem. I'm an athlete. And I get into that yoga class and I push too hard. I push in a willy-nilly, very machismo way. What happens? I'm the guy leaving the yoga class like this. You cannot do yoga mindlessly. You cannot do life mindlessly or you get hurt because the human ego will take over. That machismo exists in the women just as much as the men because you're trying to prove something rather than listening. Mindfulness means I start listening. In yoga, you listen to your body. Carolyn always tells her students that. So does Nina. So does April. Listen to your body. Start paying attention. And quit letting the ego drive. You're going to get hurt otherwise. When reaching for a dream, we must mindfully let every stretch that we are being asked to make be only as far as the soul has asked us to stretch and not too much farther, just a little bit farther. The ego will push way too far. The dream dies because you took on too much at one point. We must be mindful of what the soul, the Christ, the Atman, the Tao, the Buddha is calling of us, and only stretch as far as it is asking us. That means mindfully listening, coming to the edge, but not further, because you've got to make sure you've got the wings when you're standing there on the edge. And when you listen, you're going to know, I've got the wings. It's time to go to the next edge. It's time to go to the next chapter, to the next version. In yoga, it's treating your body with respect and awareness. With dream building, it's treating your dream with respect and awareness. How many of you have not seen somebody with a dream that did not treat that dream with respect? A dream in your heart is not there by accident. A possibility in your mind is not there by accident. It's a divine appointment handed to you by the veritable presence of the universe, the One. God, whatever name you want to call it, has put that into you. Only you. It's nobody else's dream. It's nobody else's gift. It is yours to bring forth. You better pay attention and be mindful. Because when you don't live that dream and you don't listen to that dream, you're not only doing a disservice to your soul, you're doing a disservice to the soul of the universe, which is God itself. Breathe that in. In spirituality, when treating your divine self and soul with respect and awareness, dreams get realized by mindfully listening. That was number one. Mindfulness. Number two, and this is a hard one because we're going to confront the human ego again. Ask for help. Too many people for too long have said asking for help is weak. I think it is perhaps the most courageous thing you can do. And when you're going after a dream and a stretch, you've got a yoga teacher, you've got a coach, you've got a minister, you've got a friend, you've got somebody who is there to walk alongside you. That means ask for help. Get out of your ego and humble yourself enough to know that we're building dreams for each other. I'm on your side. I get to come up here and talk, but let me tell you, I'm on your side. And I hope that you're on my side. And we both become more as a result of the partnership. Two of my favorite words that we speak from this platform over and over and over again: partners in believing and co-creators. As cells within the body of the one, we need each other. I found that picture and I thought that was really cool. Partner yoga. But that's what we are doing, partner union. We're getting back to the place of oneness with God and with each other by working together as partners in believing. That is the necessity of spiritual community. Some people don't understand what the number one reason is to be involved in spiritual community. That's it right there. I'm surrounded with partners in believing who are going into their dreams, letting me to support them, and they are supporting me, and we all become more. But I've got to get out of my ego and ask for help. Look around the room. You were surrounded by yogis. You were surrounded by coaches. In fact, I want you to look around the room. Find somebody that has made an impact in your life. See somebody who said something, who did something, who was there when you needed them. And I want you to speak their name aloud. They are your yogi. You're more of who you are meant to be as a result of that person crossing your path. Speak their name. Vilma, Nicole, Sylvie. I'm asking you to make an inventory of the people that you asked for help, because you're going to have to ask them again. And they're going to ask you. I'm hearing the song in my head, lean on me when you're not strong. A powerful spiritual hymn, lean on me when you're not strong and I will lean on you. We need each other on the journey of stretching. When it comes to yoga class, I'll get into a pose, managing my machismo and my ego. Okay, this feels really good. And then there'll be that gentle touch from the yoga instructor. Carolyn will come over. A gentle touch. And what does a coach do? What's the first thing a yoga teacher tells you to do 300 times in a class? Breathe. Breathe. Just the reminder of the breath, the stretch goes a little deeper. And then there's that loving touch on my back or my shoulder and a gentle nudge. Whoa, that stretch just went to a new place. Oh, and it feels so good on that aching back. Just enough because you're listening to life together. Life said, come to the edge, and then life pushed. Just enough to go, we're in this together. You're in safe hands. Ask for help from the people that you trust. They are also the face of God. Claim them as so. Know them as so. Reach out to them. I look at the Blackfords over there. Those are two people I know that in any moment, at no matter what the time of day, I can call them, and they're going to be there. But I have to ask for help. And guess what? I know that they know that about me as well, as my colleagues and my friends. And I can name probably 25, 40, 50 people in this room. That's a gift. Cherish that gift. Don't take for granted the fact that you're in a spiritual community. But every day give thanks. I'm in a spiritual community that causes me to stretch and gently puts a hand on her shoulder and says, we've got this, and we've got this together. I know who you are. We are co-creators and partners in believing. Number 3, so we start with mindfulness. Number 2, ask for help. Number 3, a lot of people are walking around the planet saying it's survival of the fittest. Survival of the fittest. We have long outlived survival of the fittest with modern technology. I'm going to submit to you today that it is survival of the most consistent. Consistency. When raising children, I learned that. I may not be the best parent in the world, but I was consistently on my rules and my regulations and the way to address my kids, they turned out okay because of my consistency, not because of my great parenting. I was a safe place for them. You don't do yoga once or twice and 3 times and suddenly you're flexible. You are more flexible doing yoga once, twice, or 3 times. If you stop, guess what? It takes about 1, 2, 3 weeks, and the muscles have then atrophied again, gone back to their form because they have not been consistently worked. The same is true with your spirit. The same is true with your dream. A mind not regularly stretched returns to old habits. A practice, not... Who said amen? All right, Matthew, thank you for playing the role of a Tiba today. A mind not stretched will return to old habits, back to mindfulness. I need to be aware that this is a daily practice, not a once-in-a-lifetime experience of stretching my mind. A soul is designed. Energy is in motion. The circle I talked about last week between belief and knowing and the sister of action is constantly moving. If it doesn't, if you're not cooperating with that, you become stagnant. The dream dies, and nobody is responsible but you. A soul must consistently be reaching and have coaches to say, go a little bit farther. Go just a little bit farther. And the world becomes a better place because energy is always in motion. You're working with the energy and you're cooperating with it. When we stop the movement towards prosperity, what happens? It dries up. It's always there, but we're not participating with the flow. If you stop the movement towards health, well, I ate healthy 1 week. I did the regimen that I needed to do to keep my body healthy 1 week, and then I didn't do it for 3 weeks. Guess what? All that 1 week has been laid to waste. When I talk about consistent giving, and that's what's going to be part of this journey of becoming, consistent is the magical word there. Consistent giving. Not I give once and now I'm done, I'm complete. You're now out of the flow if you don't keep that habit up. Where can I give today should be the first answer on the first question on your lips. What can I do to serve the world today? That puts you in congruity with the Christ. That's what Jesus did. How can I serve today? That's what Buddha did. How can I serve today? How can I give today? The more we ask what we can give, the more we are in the flow, the more prosperity grows, the more the dream is empowered financially, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And I believe that deserves an amen. Oh my gosh. I believe that deserves more than amen, I think so. It deserves the full and complete essence of your soul. Energy stopped is twice as hard to get going again. Ask April. She'll tell you in her yoga classes, the students that come once a month are not nearly as advanced, not nearly as far, not nearly as flexible as the ones that come every week. And not nearly as flexible as the ones that are doing it every day at home. It is essential. So when it comes to your church community, you're not going to get the benefit of a spiritual community of partners in believing and co-creators coming here at Christmas and Easter. And you're certainly not going to get it once a month. A regular commitment to your spiritual path. And that means accountability. Accountability. Number 4, where I follow through and where I don't. It gets uncomfortable. On the edge, I'm holding myself accountable. There are a lot of people here today that have broken a contract with your divine self. A lot of people in this community, and I'm going to call this community out, we tend to put our name on a piece of paper, which is completely meaningless. 60 people sign the document, I'm going to be there, and 4 show up. That's out of integrity. It's out of accountability with your divine essence. You put your name on a paper because you knew there was something there for you. It's not a contract you're breaking with your spiritual organization. It's a contract you're breaking with yourself. And I'm challenging you today to stop breaking contracts with yourself. My grandfather, he was my hero. And where I grew up in San Martin, California, don't blink, there's only one stoplight there. It's farm country forever. My grandfather never had a contract. Nobody knew that Carl Buck needed a contract because his handshake was his bond. His signature was his bond. And more importantly, what he taught me, my word was my bond. You give your word to the Atman of your soul, to the Christ of your soul, to the Buddha of your very existence. Why would you break that contract in order to reach the next dream and to stretch to the next place? Well, that was weird. It's the Lord, Noah. The reality is, we have got to absolutely be consistent with our divine self, or we are saying we know more than God. So you have a contract with the yoga teacher. You have a contract with the spiritual community. I'm less concerned about those contracts and more concerned about the contract that you have when you were born onto this planet at this time, in this existence, in this community that says, I will be all that I can be. I will shine at the highest degree of who I can be. Then, and only then, will the dream be realized. Then and only then will you discover parts of yourself that you never knew were possible. You are the Christ. Stop making somebody else responsible for that. You are the Buddha. You are the Atman. Stop making somebody else responsible for that and be accountable to your divine essence. And then number 5. Number 5 is going to absolutely confront the human ego again. This is a hard one for me. Be willing to fail. Be willing to fail. Be willing to fall down. It's not how many times you fall down, it's how many times you get up. As I reflect and take inventory about my life, the things that I failed at the most are the things that I succeeded at the most. It's a great paradox. I'm a piano player. Was an athlete at one point. I succeeded in those things by failing more. I had a contract. I was accountable to my dream to be a piano player. I was accountable to be a baseball player. And I didn't give up when I embarrassed myself. Too many dreams die because we're so afraid what somebody might think if we fail. We get embarrassed. Anybody else get embarrassed? The dreams that I was too afraid to be embarrassed and I backed away from them never came to fruition. Plain and simple. The dreams where I was afraid that somebody might not like who I was being called to be, I backed away. They never came to fruition, and a little piece of the Christ of me died. A little piece of the Buddha didn't die. Now, I don't think that Buddha and Christ were particularly interested in my ability to tap dance. I loved tap dancing. I loved tap dancing, and I had an embarrassing moment tap dancing where I made a fool of myself, and I stepped away from the dream, and that dream never happened. I also had embarrassing moments sitting at a piano in a recital where I forgot what I was supposed to play, but I got back on the horse. I got back on because I had a contract with the piano. I play piano today because I did not do the same thing I did with tap dancing. God wanted something as me, for me, through me, with me. Something deep inside of you is calling. Yes, your flags are going to flap. Flags are going to flap. Wind is going to flap. Your mind is going to flap at 100 miles an hour. Your mouth is going to flap. And I'm saying it's time for this congregation to quit flapping their mouths about how much they love this community and start demonstrating it. How much you want that dream and the vision. It's time for the mouths to stop flapping. I'm going to switch microphones here, Wes. We're going to go into a time of reflection. I'm going to invite Heather to come up and play a song, but I want to do this one first. This song was written many, many years ago as a result of living in a dream and dancing with the sister that said, stretch for the next level of the dream. I sit here at this piano in front of this church today as a result of the contract I had with my divine self. And mindfully taking the steps that were mine, including the ones where I fell. And mindfully being aware of the wings I was being asked to find. Moving forward, moving on, into our future in love. Moving forward, moving on, into my future in love. Something deep inside me is is calling me forward. Something from my core is calling me on. Something deep inside me is calling me forward. It's God, it's joy, it's love. That's your line, sing it with me. It's God, it's joy, it's love. Now there is a light inside me, it's guiding me onward. There's a light inside me so much brighter than the sun. There's a light inside me, it's guiding me forward. It's God, it's joy, it's love. Sing that with me. It's God, it's joy, it's love. I am pulled by something beautiful. I am pulled to something great. I am pulled by something wonderful, by a vision, by a dream, by God's grace. There's a stirring in me that fills me with hope. There's a stirring in me that lifts me so high. There's a stirring in me that fills me with hope. It's God, it's joy, it's love. Together, it's God, it's joy, it's love. Now there is a calm assurance that all is in order. There is a calm assurance that I am all right. There's a calm assurance that all is in order. It's God, it's joy, it's love. Place your hand on your heart. It's God, it's joy, it's love. I am pulled by something beautiful. I am pulled to something great. I am pulled by something wonderful, by a vision, by a dream, by God's grace. Something deep inside me is calling me forward. There is a light inside me so much brighter than the sun. There's a stirring in me that lifts me much higher. It's God, it's joy, it's love. Together, it's God, it's joy, it's love. It's God, it's joy, feel it, it's love. Moving forward, moving on into our future in love. Moving forward, moving on into the future in love. This week, over the next 2 weeks, you're going to be getting a call from a partner in believing. I invite you to pick up that phone and to answer from the Christ. To answer from the Atman and the Buddha and the Tao of your soul, not from your human ego, not from any place of machismo, but to know that God is calling you right to the edge, and God is calling us as partners in believing to the edge. We're going to sing this into the meditation today. The words, I am more. Say that with me. I am more. I am more than I have ever known. In God's light together, in God's love, I am more. I am more. Let's put the words up. I am more. I am more than I have ever known. In God's light, in God's love, I am more. Let's sing that together. I am more. I am more. I am more than I have ever known in God's light, in God's love. I am more as God's light. One more time. I am more. I am more. I am more than I have ever known as God's light, as God's love. I am more.
Once again, I invite you to close your outer eyes. Become aware of the position of your body in the chair. Sitting tall and well. Feet grounded on the floor, head stretching up to the heavens. Yet relaxing into the chair, letting the chair hold you, giving you the gift of stillness and support. Aware of your beautiful body. Aware of the ability to move your beautiful body. But holding the body in this stillness. Then bringing your attention to your breath. The seeming transition inward. The breath always there, now elevating it to the forefront of your consciousness. Taking nice, deep, slow, intentional breaths. Body in stillness, breath cycling smoothly. Bringing your attention to your heart. Gazing inwardly, not with physical eyes, keep them relaxed, but bringing your mind's eye into that space, deep in the center of your chest. Bringing your mind's ear, hearing into that space. In that space, believing you are the divine. Notice how that feels. How you feel in your body when in your heart you believe that you are the divine. And letting that belief transform into knowing. You have experiential knowledge, knowing in this now moment you are the divine. Noticing, how does that feel? And taking that knowing into an action. Acting from your divinity by stretching a little more deeply into your own heart, into the Christ, the Buddha, the Atman, then falling into the silence in that space. Remain in that space. Observe the silence at the center of the consciousness, one and the same with the divine. Remain aware of that silence in your heart with you at all times as you reflect on the relative quietness of your mind at this time. The smoothness of your breath and the stillness of your body. Bring back the silence as you gently open your eyes.
Thank you. Take a breath. You are more. We are more together. And so this is the time in the service where we ask you to share of your prosperity, to believe in the dream that is Unity North Atlanta Church at even a greater level, because you see what is possible. We've got big dreams, but we need your help to make those manifest. And so I invite you to take your gift. There are many ways you can give. We've got baskets as you're leaving that you can put your gift in, and you can also do text in church, text to give. We've got text in church and text to give. You can text your amount that you want to give to that number, 73256, and we will graciously and gratefully accept your gift. We're also, as Richard said, starting our consistent giving. We're not challenging you, but inviting you to believe in the dream at an even higher level. And you will be receiving a call, but we've got a slide there that you can go on now and either sign up for our consistent giving program or stretch that next amount that helps affirm the flow, because that is just God energy. As you give, you receive. It's just flow. And so we invite you. You can put that slide up. There's a consistent giving online that you can sign up for. And I guess we don't have it. It was in the deck. But you can go on the website and you'll find it. Otherwise, there it is. Give today. And that helps us in so many levels. It helps us prepare. As you're out of town, as we might have inclement weather, we know that we have that stability. And we're just asking you to go to the edge and believe with us. And we just appreciate your gift in whatever way you give it. So it is. Oh, we have a prayer. I'm sorry, I got really into the flow with the music. I was timing it out. We do have a prayer, so I invite you to take that gift, whether that be your phone, your wallet, your consciousness, and place it over your heart. And let us say together, I am so blessed. I am so prosperous. And it is my great pleasure to share of my prosperity and to share of my blessings. And in the giving, the entire world is blessed. Thank you, God. Amen. And I do want to just say something to those of you out there. You have kept us going as well. And some of you in the room were out there, and some of you out there will be in the room. It is all consciousness. And so your gifts have kept us going as well. And we just send you a grateful thank you as well. All right, we're going to invite
Andy and Don. Let's bring them back. Let's bring them back up here and hear their beautiful heart and their beautiful spirit and their beautiful music. Magnifico. Beautiful. Christian Zamora, Heather Hart, Andy and Don. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate it so much. Up on our feet. It's a short closing song. Get ready, my soul. Daniel Namod. I invite you to get ready to jump right off the edge and to let your wings sprout at the highest and best place. I need just a little more volume on the monitor here if I can. The band will be back with us next Sunday. I hope you will make every effort to be with us as we take the next step on our journey to the Unity North dream and your dream and our dream. Together we sing, get ready, my soul. I'm diving in, sing it like you believe it. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready. Get ready, my soul. I'm going to invite you to stretch up to the ceiling and go just a little farther than you did at the beginning of the service. Stretch to your left and your right. Look at somebody in the eyes when you make that stretch and say, get ready, my soul, together. Get ready, my soul. I'm diving in, get ready, my soul. I'm diving in to the deepest kind of love, to the sweetest kind of life. Get ready. Get ready, my soul. Thanks so much for being here today. Before you leave, look somebody in the eyes and say, as my partner in believing, get ready. Have a beautiful and blessed and wonderful week. We are partners in believing for each other.
Oh, I tell you, you are just the anchor that keeps me going.
Well, thank you. I receive and accept and send it right back and get it received.
God bless you.